Welcome to Florida's forgotten beach town, home to a beach that not too long ago was rated number 2 in the country, but more recently seems to have kind of been forgotten about.
And while this beach town has been battered by a couple of different hurricanes recently, it's well on its way to recovery and still offers world-class beaches and insane natural beauty.
So stick around to see why this Florida beach town is the perfect vacation spot for those looking for breathtaking beaches and old Florida charm without all the crowds.
Now, if you haven't already figured it out, the beach town that we're talking about is Bonita Springs, which lies between the more popular beach towns of Fort Myers Beach to the north and Naples to the south.
Not only does this town have some of the most gorgeous beaches we've taken you to on this channel, but it also has great spots for food and drinks and non-beach attractions, which we'll take you to in this episode. Now, this park is located at the northernmost public beach access on the island that you can drive to. It is rated 4.7 on Google and parking is $2 an hour. Now, it hasn't fully recovered from the last hurricane as there are porta potties only here.
If you take time to do some research on the beaches here in Bonita Springs, you will find that they are very highly rated, which makes it that much more surprising that you don't find these beaches ranked anywhere on the top beaches list lately. Now, one of the beaches here in Bonita Springs did receive some national attention in 2014 and 2015 when it was ranked the number 2 beach in America both years by Dr. Beach. We are going to be taking you to that beach tomorrow, but since then they've had some really bad luck. In 2017 they got hit by Hurricane Irma, and this area was actually identified as the 3rd hardest hit area in all of Florida. The next year the area had a really bad red tide outbreak, and just 2 years ago Bonita Springs got hit by Hurricane Ian, which was a Category 5 hurricane and had 12-foot storm surges.
If you walk just a half mile further north, you'll reach the end of the beach on this island. Now, we do want to note that there are no restaurants out here, so you will want to bring your own snacks and drinks. And we did know that from doing our research, so we actually stopped through downtown to grab some breakfast, and we're going to show you that experience right now. We're starting our day off here at Downtown Coffee and Wine, which is a locally owned business, and they partner with other businesses including Mike's You Pick Farm, as well as Grumpy Goat Coffee, which is roasted locally here in Southwest Florida. They have a variety of unique lattes to choose from, and they do make a lot of their syrups in-house. I went with the iced tiramisu.
Now, I went with the pistachio hot latte, which is made with their pistachio syrup and their house-made white chocolate syrup. Wow, so it has actual pistachios in it, which is not what I was expecting, but the pistachio syrup and the white chocolate syrup blend really nicely. It's a very good latte.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That looks great.
So for our breakfast, we went with something called mascarpone rye toast. I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing that right, but basically it's rye toast covered in this spreadable mascarpone cheese. It also has lemon curd, almonds, and berries, which I'm guessing are from that You Pick It farm Jamie mentioned earlier. It's definitely the prettiest rye toast that we've ever seen, and I'm really excited to try it. That mascarpone cheese, I don't think I've ever had that before, but it's really smooth and really creamy, and it does go really well with the tartness of the lemon curd and the sweetness of the berries. I would highly recommend this.
So Skylar has been raving about this toast, so I have to give it a try. Okay, so this reminds me of a more savory version of fruit pizza and what I would assume to be a healthier version. It is really good. Between these two lattes, both of us agreed that we like the pistachio one the best, but we also both really do like pistachio flavor. And once I did mix up the tiramisu latte and got all the flavors blended in, that is also really good, so we would recommend both of them. We are done at the coffee shop, and we are just passing through downtown Bonita Springs on our way to the beach, but we are going to be back here tomorrow to show you a few more spots.
Now, we are currently out here on Little Hickory Island Beach Park, and we only had to walk about a minute or two to have this beautiful little section of beach nearly all to ourselves. The water out here today is ridiculously calm, clear, and turquoise, and while there are a few people out on this beach today, it is far from a tourist hotspot, and I am loving it.
Now, the sand out here is pretty white, but it's also quite shelly. We've seen a lot of people walking around looking for shells, and I haven't even been trying, but I found a couple good ones.
Now, we've walked as far to the north as we can on Little Hickory Island, and behind me you can now see Big Hickory Island. The two islands are only separated by a passage that's maybe 50 foot wide or so, but it does look quite deep, and also the current looks really strong, so Jamie and I will not be attempting to swim to Big Hickory Island today. Now, from our research, we do know that you can rent paddlecraft on Big Hickory Island and paddle through the mangroves to the beach right behind us, and as you can see, it looks to be even a more secluded beach experience than here on Little Hickory.
Skylar's becoming a sheller.
Within about 20 seconds of looking for shells, I've already found all of these. Not only is it really easy to spot shells out here because the water is so calm and clear, but it's also really easy to spot manatees. We did see one a little while ago, but it was quite a ways out, so we decided to give him his space. This water is just so frickin' clear. These fish apparently love my feet also.
Oh, it's like one of those fish spas,
yeah.
Right? No need to pay for one of those fancy
no
spas.
No kidding. Just come out here.
So we were only planning to be out here for about 2 hours today, but we are probably gonna stay here close to 4. We were planning on taking you to some of the other beach accesses, but it is so rare for the water to be this calm and this clear and the beaches to be this empty. But we will tell you about the other beach accesses along the way, and we're also gonna take you to another one later today and a whole other beach tomorrow.
Now, some of you may have already noticed, it is definitely turtle season out here on Bonita Springs. For those of you who don't know, these staked off areas on each side of me are turtle nests that are being protected from foot traffic, and eventually a bunch of baby turtles will be hatching here and making their way out to the Gulf.
Most of the other public beach accesses along Bonita Beach are smaller beach accesses with just a few spots for parking, so they get filled up pretty quickly. And driving out here, we did notice that some of the beach accesses don't appear to be reopened after the hurricane. I know we saw that 4 was open, and I think there's a few others as well. And while we don't know for sure, those other beach accesses probably don't have any amenities. Now, if you are watching and you're familiar with this area and you know of any of the accesses that are open or if any have amenities, please feel free to share those in the comments.
So on most beaches, it'd probably take me about an hour to find this many cool shells, but I found all of these in about 5 minutes here.
So Skylar just told me that this is a new contender for his favorite beach in Florida. That's pretty big.
As you can see, Jamie is now also getting in on the shell hunting action. It's really addictive because it's just so easy and you can find such good shells with such minimal effort.
Skylar just keeps adding to his fat stack of shells. You're shell rich.
After spending the majority of a day here in Bonita Springs, we do have to say that the signs of Hurricane Ian are still there, although they're much less noticeable than the islands to the north in Fort Myers Beach, Sanibel, and Captiva. But out here on the beach, you will find that a lot of the condos do appear to still be under renovation, which probably explains why the beaches here aren't too crowded. So if you do want to experience these beaches without the crowds, you might want to get out here sooner than later. We just made it back to the parking lot, and after spending about 3 hours longer on that beach than we were expecting to, we're both getting pretty hungry. Thankfully, we did pass by a spot earlier today that was advertising $1 Taco Tuesdays, and since today is Tuesday, we're going to be heading there later for tacos, but first we got one other spot to take you to. We made it back to the car. It's 93 outside right now, and in here, the air is struggling to catch up. Feel good?
Oh yeah, but I gotta be this close to it.
All right, get in and close the door.
Our Tuesday afternoon dining spot would take us east off of Little Hickory Island and north up US Highway 41.
We are here at the #2 rated restaurant in all of Bonita Springs, according to TripAdvisor. Now, we were planning on doing a late lunch here because they have lunch specials that run until 3 p.m. But because we stayed out on the beach so long, we totally missed that. But we are here for their happy hour from 4 to 6.
Our late arrival actually worked out quite well, as we'd get to enjoy 25% off appetizers after a long day on the beach.
Jamie just told me I have beach face. I have no idea what she's talking about. So Lapas is a Costa Rican restaurant, and those of you who are familiar with our channel may already know that we've made 2 separate trips to Costa Rica, and we absolutely love the food there, so we're really excited to try the food here. Now for their happy hour special, they do 25% off appetizers and beers. I had to start off with an Imperial. Now honestly, it's not that great of a beer, but after spending 5 hours out on the beach in the sun, this one tastes amazing.
So we ordered yuca frita, which is fried yuca and an avocado sauce, and also chifrio with fried pork, because that is the traditional way to have it. They also brought out homemade hot sauce, which I know Skylar is really excited to try. So I really like that. It's very flavorful. The pork is tender but also crispy, and the chips are homemade.
So yuca has been one of our favorite things to eat in both Costa Rica and Puerto Rico, so I'm really excited to try this. So this is kind of like a potato wedge, but way better. It's super crispy, it's not dry at all, and it's honestly not that flavorful by itself, but when you dip it in this avocado sauce, it's really good.
So as we were trying our other entrees, the staff brought us out the guacamole to try, and it looks amazing. It looks super chunky, which I love in guacamole.
Now, we often make guacamole at home, but it is never this good. It is very fresh, tangy, and has a bunch of cilantro, which I love. Now, from talking with the staff, they make your order fresh when you order it, so no wonder this all tastes so delicious.
So when the owner brought out this hot sauce, she did warn me that it's quite spicy, and she was not lying. It has some really good kick, but it's really flavorful as well.
We both agreed that our appetizers at Lapas were even better than most of the food we had in Costa Rica, and that we'd absolutely be returning on our next trip to Bonita Springs.
After eating all of that delicious food at Lapas, neither of us are at all hungry, but we did promise you we'd be taking you to Taco Tuesday, so here we are. So the way they have it set up for Taco Tuesdays is you order your tacos at the front counter right when you enter the building, and then you order the drinks behind me at the bar. Now I got myself a Victoria, which is one of my favorite Mexican beers, and I got Jamie a hibiscus tea, which apparently only comes in one size and it's absolutely massive. We're just leaving Maria's and we both only had room for one taco, and while we're definitely not going to tell you those are the best tacos we've ever had, they are one of the best things we've had in recent memory for just $1. We really like that they use soft corn tortillas, we enjoyed the green salsa, and we also love the fact that they have a live musician playing. That's always a plus for us. So it's safe to say we would recommend Maria's for Taco Tuesday.
After having way too much to eat, we are back out at the beach. We are at the southernmost public beach access for Bonita Beach. Now, if you are planning a trip here, there are 2 parking lots to be aware of, and they are in 2 different counties, so it's a little confusing. Now, this parking lot is in Collier County, and right now it does not appear that they are charging for parking, and it is just off of Barefoot Beach Road. Now, this parking lot is about 20 feet away. It's located in Lee County and is just south of Doc's Beach House. Now, it used to have a really nice pavilion with amenities, but it got battered pretty badly by Ian, and it has not reopened yet, but there are porta potties on the north end of the lot.
While we show you a bit of the beaches here on the Lee and Collier County line, we do want to point out that the Lee section of beach to the north is considered part of Bonita Beach, while the Collier County section to the south is part of Barefoot Beach. But perhaps the most popular spot to access Barefoot Beach is located in Barefoot Beach Preserve, about 1.5 miles to the south. We will show you more of that section of Barefoot Beach later in this video, but for now, it's time to grab a drink and catch a sunset.
Now there are several waterfront dining spots to choose from here in Bonita Springs, but Doc's Beach House is the only one that's actually located right on the beach. Now they do have both interior air-conditioned dining as well as seating right here on the beach where you can dine with your feet in the sand, and we should also mention that they're cash only, and while they do serve beer, wine, and wine-based cocktails, they do not serve hard liquor.
Now, if you do choose to sit in this outdoor area, it is self-serve, so you do have to go up to the bar to order both food and drinks. Skylar went with a hazy IPA from Palm City Brewing out of Fort Myers, and I went with a strawberry orange juice, and it's delicious.
So the drinks here at Doc's are a little bit on the pricey side, but that's what you're going to have to expect anytime you're dining right on the beach, and I can't think of a much better spot to catch a sunset.
So we walked back out on the beach for sunset, and it was a really good one. Now we have one more spot to take you to tonight, and then we have a whole nother day planned in Bonita Springs for tomorrow, so we'll see you at our next place.
So once again, we spent way too much time out on the beach, which leaves us with only about 15 minutes here at our last spot, Ceremony Brewing. Fortunately, it is enough time to try a few different beers. I really love the atmosphere here, and I also love that they offer 5-ounce pours in all of their beers. I went with a coffee porter, an ambrosia sour, and a grilled pineapple sour, and they even have a non-alcoholic beer for Jamie. So I gotta say, I would happily drink any of these beers, but I think this is the first smoked sour I have ever had. It's a really nice blend of smoky, sweet, and tart, and I really hope this style of beer catches on because it's definitely my favorite of the 3.
We arrived at our Bonita Springs hotel for the evening, surprised at how fancy it appeared, especially considering we booked our room for the night for right around $100. Now, before we call it a night, we are going to give you a quick mini tour to show you what you can get for around $100 a night in Bonita Springs on a Tuesday in June. Now, as soon as you enter the room, you've got a coffee station over here and the bathroom to the left. In there, we have a separate tub and a shower. Outside of the bathroom, we have a really good sized mini fridge, and then we've got our 2 full-size beds. But let me show you the best part. We have a balcony overlooking the pool and jacuzzi area and whatever body of water that is over there. Now this area looks really, really nice and we would love to be able to enjoy it, but we are going to be leaving bright and early tomorrow morning to show you more of Bonita Springs. We began our Wednesday morning by heading to the beach that was rated number 2 in the entire country not too long ago. Now this road out to Barefoot Beach is gorgeous. The road is lined with these tall royal palms. That's what they are, right?
Yeah.
And gosh, the houses out here, they are massive and beautiful. We have been seeing these signs to look for gopher tortoises everywhere, and we just saw one on the side of the road. Oh, it's so cute. It's just eating peacefully.
Good morning. We decided to start today out on the beach because both of us got a little too much sun yesterday, so we wanted to get out early before the UV rays got too intense. We are here at Barefoot Beach Preserve, and the way to get here is a little bit unusual.
Yeah, you have to go through a security booth where they just kind of wave you into this gated community. It's a really nice and really beautiful community. You drive a couple of miles through that, and then you reach the park where you then pay $10 to get your parking ticket and then can park in one of the 2 lots that are currently open. So as you guys can probably see, the water isn't quite as calm as it was yesterday, but it is still quite calm, it's still quite clear, and it's still a really pretty shade of turquoise.
Now the sand at this beach is similar to the beaches we visited yesterday. It's white, pretty soft, but also quite shelly. Now the vegetation in this area is growing back nicely since the hurricanes, but there are still signs of it here. Like Skylar mentioned, there are only a couple of the parking lots open and they don't have any amenities, so only porta potties and hand washing stations.
It's just a little bit before 10 in the morning when we got out to the park today. There's only about 10 cars in the parking lot that we parked in, and the beach is pretty much wide open. It's about 10:30 now and the beach is starting to fill up a little bit, but you're still not going to have any problem finding some open space for yourself. Like Jamie mentioned earlier, the sand here on Barefoot Beach is pretty shelly, and some of those shells are actually pretty sharp. So I wouldn't say that Barefoot Beach is the best beach for walking barefoot, and if your feet aren't tough, you may want to consider packing water shoes.
It's getting pretty hot. Time to hit the water?
Yes. Now the water today is a bit choppier than what it was yesterday, but it is still really clear. The water out here does get deeper much faster, but you still can see to the bottom. It's just here, if you see a shell, you have to go down a few feet to pick it up.
So if you're like Jamie and don't want to get your hair wet, you can utilize the picking up shells with your feet strategy. I've been trying it out a little bit, but so far all I've been getting is rocks. And this one here strangely resembles a mushroom. So I did see a map recently that showed that the Gulf waters in this area are a few degrees warmer than normal, and we are really appreciating that today because the water out here feels great. Unfortunately though, warmer waters do feed hurricanes, so we may have a stronger hurricane season this year. Only time will tell, but if we do have a bad one, hopefully this area can catch a break because they've obviously had enough bad luck when it comes to hurricanes recently.
We spotted another gopher tortoise. This one's coming out to the beach. I don't think we've ever seen a gopher tortoise on the beach before.
We saw a sign that says they can't swim.
So no matter how beautiful these beaches are and how much you do not want to leave them, eventually you're gonna have to go and get some food or just take a break from the sun. So the rest of today, we're gonna show you some things to do away from the beach, and we'll see you at our next spot. So it's a little bit before noon and it's time for us to leave just as more people are rolling in. It's getting a little bit busier behind me at the entrance area, but still not too bad. Here's a little booth that you have to stop at to come in. They just waved us through coming in.
At the light, turn right onto Bonita Beach Road Southwest.
This just opens up for us to get out.
So we've made it to our lunch spot for the day, which is Mel's Diner. It's a 50s style diner that's known for having great food at reasonable prices and is also one of the city's best rated restaurants according to TripAdvisor. So let's go check it out. No, I definitely wasn't planning on getting alcohol at lunch today, but they have Bloody Marys for $6 and the waitress said they're really good, so I couldn't pass it up. For $6, very good. Very strong too.
Skylar ordered the Wednesday special, which is cabbage rolls. It came with a soup or salad, and he went with their chicken noodle soup. Skylar's cabbage rolls have arrived, and over here is the salad that I ordered. It was the Sanibel salad with haddock. It looks amazing.
So the last time I had cabbage rolls was at a Polish restaurant in Toronto, and it was one of the best things I've ever had, so I have really high expectations for this. It's like a super tender meatloaf, kind of. I don't know if it's quite as good as that one I had in Toronto, but this is still excellent.
So the vinaigrette on that salad is really good. Now, I was trying to order light by ordering a salad, but it came with this giant fish. We were not expecting that.
So all of that food and that Bloody Mary came out to a total of $35. So I'd say Mel's definitely lived up to its reputation for being reasonably priced.
Now, we enjoyed both of the meals that we had at Mel's, and they had a really great looking dessert menu too, but there's another dessert spot that we've been wanting to try, so we'll see you there. Now, Skylar was set on visiting Sweet Melissa's due to their reputation for having great key lime pie, and considering they also have homemade ice cream, he didn't have a hard time selling me on this place at all.
So those of you who know our channel well may already know that I love key lime pie, and this key lime pie right here has been named Bonita Springs Best for something like 7 years in a row, so I am really excited to try this one. I'd say it's a little more on the sweet side versus the tart side, but overall it is very good. I'd rate it probably like a 8.5.
So this is their one scoop in a bowl. I was able to get two different kinds of ice cream. The top one here is coconut flavored ice cream. It also has some chocolate and I think some caramel in it. It kind of tastes like an Almond Joy. And the one below it is the SpongeBob. It is vanilla flavored ice cream dyed yellow with cookie dough and sprinkles. And I have tried both of them because I do give free samples and they're both delicious.
In what world is this considered one scoop? Jamie's definitely not complaining though.
We're back here in downtown Bonita Springs, and there's quite a bit to do in this area, and while we're not going to be able to show it all to you, there are a few areas we wanted to point out, including where we're at right now, which is Riverside Park. There are some cool cottages to look at, and it's right on the river. The Imperial River is right behind me, and I did walk down there earlier. The water levels do look a little high today. We are not going to get a chance to get out on the river, but thanks to one of our viewers, Mike, we are aware that there is a place to launch your own paddlecraft, and there's also a place where you can rent paddlecraft to explore the river. From our research, it does look like there's some pretty cool areas to paddle upstream. And we also recommend Shangri-La Springs, especially if you're interested in the history of Bonita Springs, because on that property you can find the spring that the town was actually named after. I believe you can schedule a tour to see the grounds, or you can also stop by their organic restaurant. We'd also recommend checking out a Florida roadside attraction that has been in operation since 1936 in downtown Bonita Springs, and we do have time to take you there. So the Jungle Gardens is open until 4 p.m. I think the last admission is at 3 p.m. We got here around 2:50, so we don't have a ton of time, but we're going to show you as much of it as possible. So here at the Wonder Gardens, most of the resident animals are non-releasable. So the gardens do provide a permanent home for them. Hi, Kiwi! This place has a lot more animals than I was expecting. Flamingos, alligators, lorikeets.
What are lorikeets?
I guess we'll find out, right? Over there, Skylar's making friends with the alligators, I think.
No swimming in the alligator pond, Jamie. I know you're thinking about it.
I know, it was looking very tempting.
As hot as it is, I still don't think I would ever consider swimming with these guys.
10, I see at least 10 now.
So I assume swimming is also not allowed in the koi pond, but I don't see a sign, so who knows?
I didn't even realize that these two were hanging out in the corner. Yeah, they're very unique.
Definitely some of the better hairdos I've seen on a bird before. So these birds are smart. They are over here hanging out in the shade where there's a nice little breeze. It's like 94 degrees today. I'm sure the heat index is well over 100.
Oh, here's where all the little turtles are. Oh, there's a big one over here. Oh, there's ducks in here. So this duck pavilion here is right across the river from where we were just at the park. So here's another one of these really cool exhibits, but I think you can actually go in this one. Oh yeah, Skylar's already inside.
So when Jamie was telling me earlier how she thought you could pay $20 to have some birds land on you, I thought it sounded like a waste of money, but now that I see how cool these birds are, I'm kind of wishing we would have done it. This one's almost like tiger stripes. Look at that. Oh, that one's dancing. Look at him.
Well, a couple of them were dancing.
Yeah, dance, lorikeet. I gotta be honest, I had no idea what a lorikeet was until today.
Yeah, they're really bright and playful.
Yeah, that one has a freaking awesome mullet.
Skylar says this one has an awesome mullet.
Look at that thing.
And I do agree.
Now, I know mullets aren't known for being a high-class hairdo, but a golden mullet like that one is about as classy as you can get. Look at him strutting his stuff. So Jamie just spotted this pink pineapple plant. I'm not sure if this is a special kind of pineapple or if that's just how they look before they're fully grown. If you know, let us know in the comments. Now, like Jamie mentioned earlier, we didn't get here until about 3 o'clock, which means we only had about an hour to spend here at the Wonder Gardens before they close. But honestly, that was about the right amount of time because it is just so hot out today. There is a decent breeze blowing through here. Also, there is quite a few shady areas, but when you are out in that sunlight, it is so hot. And I think as a result, the animals probably weren't quite as active as they'd normally be, but that being said, we still had a great time and we would recommend checking this place out. Now, our last stop here in Bonita Springs is known as Buffalo Chips Restaurant. It dates all the way back to 1982 and brands itself as an upscale dive and also is known for its buffalo wings, which happens to be one of our favorite types of food. Now, at this point, you might be wondering how we could possibly already be hungry again, and the answer to that is we aren't, but it's still not going to stop us from trying some of these wings. But before we head inside, we do want to thank you all for watching all the way through this episode. If you did enjoy it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our future Florida content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and turn the notifications on. Now, after being out in the heat all day, a beer sounds amazing, and these are really good prices.
So we didn't plan this, but we happened to visit here on a Wednesday, and their wings are on special. They are $1 a piece in increments of 5, so we went ahead and ordered 10 of their famous buffalo wings.
So as you can see here, normally 10 wings would cost $16, but today they only cost 10.
Now, normally when we order wings, I eat all the flats and Skylar eats all the drummies, and that works out really well. But we want to know what you all like, so let us know if you prefer the flats or the drummies. Yeah, that's a good wing. The sauce, it's very flavorful. It's got a kick, but it's not too hot for me, which I really like.
So for me, the blue cheese is almost as important as the wing itself, and it looks like this blue cheese is really thick and chunky, so I'm excited to try this. So I agree with Jamie, the sauce is really good. The waitress actually recommended to add garlic, which was a really good decision. The meat is tender, not super crispy, but overall a really good wing. So for the sauce on our wings, we went with the medium because we wanted to get something that both Jamie and I could enjoy, but it's really not quite spicy enough for my taste, so I also got a side of death sauce, which is their spiciest sauce, and I have a feeling that this is going to be insanely hot, but there's only one way to find out. So the spice in the death sauce doesn't seem too bad yet, but I do really like the flavor of it. I do think it's slowly creeping up. We'll see how I'm feeling in a little bit.
Apparently, Skylar didn't think the death sauce was too hot because he is going in for more. And blue cheese. You know, I didn't know if we'd be able to finish 10 wings since we weren't hungry at all, but we are going to have these gone very fast.
No problem.
So I did really enjoy that death sauce on my first wing, but I gotta admit I overdid it a little bit on my second one, and as a result I drank almost my entire beer, which unfortunately means I had to order another one. But as far as that sauce goes, I would highly recommend it in moderation, though it does have really good flavor.
Now, we absolutely love the wings at Buffalo Chips, and overall the food that we have had at Bonita Springs has been great, but the beaches have been even better. So if you're at all interested in seeing even more of the best beaches that this area of Florida has to offer, then go ahead and click on this playlist next. Thanks for watching!